Welcome to the Birth Journeys podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hoff, BSN RN. I am a wife, a mother of two, and a nurse specializing in the care of women and newborns. In this podcast, we will share powerful journeys of birth givers with the goals of lifting the veil on the birth experience, healing through sharing, and beginning an open conversation to strengthen trust and promote transparency between birthing people and healthcare providers.
Hello. Today we are talking about one of the sneakiest stressors of pregnancy and postpartum, the holidays. Every year between Thanksgiving and New Year's, I see moms come in for complaints that turn out to be stress, overstimulation, or just needing an escape from the chaos. And look, zero judgment. The holidays are a lot to ask of pregnant and postpartum women. So today we're going to talk about how to gracefully escape when you need space, how to navigate comments, criticism, and opinions, and how to protect your peace without being rude, and how to leave early without needing to show up to the hospital to do it. Because real talk, I did not allow myself this space when I was pregnant and postpartum because I didn't know it was allowed. I want that to be different for you, and you have the right to decide when to be merry and bright or just have silent nights whenever it suits you to protect your peace and joy during this holiday season. Here's why holidays hit different when you're pregnant or postpartum. Pregnancy and postpartum hormones heighten everything: emotions, physical sensations, sensory overload, and the feeling of being watched. And in a loud house with strong smells and people who seem to lose all filter around pregnant and postpartum women, your nervous system can get overwhelmed fast. It's not dramatic, it's biology. Sometimes the hardest part of pregnancy or postpartum isn't your body, it's managing other people, their opinions, their expectations, their comments, and their energy. And here's the truth: you do not have to stay in a conversation, space, or dynamic that feels uncomfortable, overstimulating, draining, or intrusive. Pregnancy and postpartum are physically and emotionally intense. Your nervous system is already doing a full-time job. You do not owe anyone extra emotional labor on top of that. Not during the holidays, not at family gatherings, and quite frankly, not ever. That's why socially acceptable exits matter so much. They give you a graceful way out without debating, defending, or over-explaining. They protect your energy, your stress levels, and your body's signals. They create space for you to regulate, breathe, and reset. They interrupt situations before they escalate, before you feel cornered, judged, or overwhelmed. And they help you honor your intuition, which is one of the strongest skills you'll use in birth and motherhood. And most importantly, you are not responsible for managing other people's reactions, feelings, or disappointment when you choose what's best for you. These golden tickets aren't avoidance, they're boundaries wrapped in language that society easily accepts. You don't have to stay in the room, you don't have to educate someone, you don't have to endure comments, pressure, or questioning. You are allowed to step away the moment your body says you need to. Protecting your peace is not rudeness, it's preparation, it's self-trust, and it's emotional safety. And it matters for you, your baby, your pregnancy experience, and your postpartum mental health. These are your socially acceptable golden tickets out of any overwhelming environment. For pregnancy, I'm exhausted. I need to lie down for a bit. Heartburn is flaring up. I'm going to step away. Baby is right on a nerve. Gosh, I need to go stretch. I need some fresh air. These smells are overwhelming. I need to get outside and move for a bit. I just need to go somewhere quiet and put my feet up. For postpartum, baby needs to feed somewhere quiet. We need a little less stimulation for a bit. Time for a diaper change. We'll be back. We're going to go help the baby nap. We may be having a bit of a sleep regression. Baby and I need a little fresh air for a bit. These are not excuses. These are boundaries wrapped in socially acceptable language. Let's talk about handling unwanted comments. Pregnancy is such a deeply private, intimate experience, while people simultaneously treat you like public property. Your body is doing things that feel vulnerable, intense, and deeply personal. Yet, the whole world still thinks they're invited to comment on it. A lot of people genuinely don't know how to handle their own discomfort, so they try to connect in the only way they know how, by making observations, jokes, or comments that land as intrusive, rude, or flat out insulting. You know the classic. Are you sure you should eat that? Whoa, looks like twins. Better sleep now, you won't get any for 18 more years. Ooh, you're holding that baby too much. When are you due? Are you sure? You're still pregnant? You're feeding the baby again? Are you allowed to have that? You look like you're ready to pop. Why don't you just fill in the blank with any unsolicited advice? Let me tell you about my birth, and proceeds to trauma dump. Most of these comments come from awkwardness, outdated beliefs, and people trying to relate in ways they think are helpful, but aren't. And you do not have to absorb any of it. Here are some scripts to protect your peace, keep your nervous system regulated, and gracefully shut things down without over-explaining. The neutral redirect. Great for relatives who overshare. Huh, that's interesting. Anyway, how have you been? It's polite, short, and moves things on. The boundary. Respectful but firm. I'm doing what works best for me right now. The expert card ends the debate immediately. My OB provider and I are aligned on this plan. The shutdown for repeat offenders. I want to enjoy the holiday, not discuss my pregnancy or postpartum choices today. The comedian. This disarms without inviting more conversation. Well, that one goes straight into the things we don't say to pregnant people Hall of Fame. The graceful exit. When words aren't quite worth it. I'm going to step away for a minute. No justification, no apology. Because here's the truth. Pregnancy and postpartum are personal and vulnerable, and you are not obligated to entertain anyone's opinions, discomfort, or curiosity. Your number one job is to protect your peace, your nervous system, and your energy, not someone else's comfort. And if you need to take breaks, redirect, or opt out completely, that's not rude. That's emotional intelligence. That's self-protection, and that's preparing for motherhood with boundaries and self-trust already in place. Our next topic, how to leave early without drama. Pregnancy and postpartum come with a whole emotional landscape underneath the surface, and most people around you don't see it. You're not just tired. You're carrying an entire human, navigating hormones, physical discomfort, social expectations, and sometimes other people's complete lack of awareness. And that makes the holidays more complicated. Because when you're pregnant or newly postpartum, you are hosting a lot internally, while everyone else is focused on what's happening externally. Your nervous system is doing 10 times more work just to keep you regulated. Your energy drains faster, your senses get overstimulated quickly, and your emotional bandwidth shrinks. Not because you're dramatic, but because your body is working overtime. And yet, family gatherings often come with unsolicited opinions, high stimulation, overcrowded spaces, competing expectations, people ignoring or minimizing your needs, and zero awareness of how depleted you actually are. So let's name the honest truth. Sometimes you've taken in more than you can handle and your body is worn out. Sometimes you're emotionally drained from trying to be gracious. Sometimes you're overstimulated by the noise, smells, lights, and voices. Sometimes your baby is overstimulated and needs a reset. Sometimes your back hurts, your heartburn is raging, or your hips feel like they're falling off. And yes, sometimes everyone is being an a-hole, and the only sane option is to walk away. And whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. It's valid, and when you've had enough, you've had enough. You do not need to fake contractions to leave the room. You do not need to push through discomfort to make others happy, and you do not need a medical reason to honor your limits. You are allowed to leave simply because your peace matters. Here are some gentle, firm exits you can use. We're heading home. I'm at my limit today. My body's telling me it needs rest. It's getting too overstimulating for the baby. I need a quiet environment. We'll catch up soon. And simply, we love you. See you soon. Short, kind, boundaried, enough. You don't owe anyone more explanation than this, because the skill of honoring your limits now becomes the skill that protects your mental health, your postpartum experience, and your birth experience later. And I promise, learning when to exit is one of the most powerful acts of self-trust you can practice. The holidays can be beautiful, but they can also be overstimulating, emotional, and overwhelming when you're pregnant or postpartum. You're allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to say no, and you are allowed to choose calm over chaos. If you want my full list of holiday boundary scripts and exit strategies, comment holiday and I'll send it to you. Happy holidays! Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. Don't forget to share the podcast with a friend who can benefit from the valuable insights that we share here. And if you could take a moment to leave a 5-star rating and review, it would mean the world to me. If you're ready to work one-on-one with me to embark on a transformational journey towards a confident and empowered hospital birth experience, go to kellyhoff.com/empowered and enroll in my Empowered Hospital Birth Coaching Program. Together, we'll create a roadmap to a birth experience that you'll cherish forever. That's KELLYHOF.com/empowered. Let's make your birth experience extraordinary.